So the first project is the learning to draw project, and I have a couple insights from this project. It was a really short project, but I still learned a little bit. But with that being said, this is definitely a little short look back. But I would say that the materials that were used that were available to me in this, I think did a good job of like showing what you have to do. If I'm teaching someone, I do believe that if someone was trying to use this video to do this kind of drawing, it would be beneficial to them. I think you understand like the practicing portion of it, and then you drawing like different body parts and stuff like that. I think I could actually be beneficial to someone, especially if they already have some kind of um some knowledge before watching this video. If they're already like an art student or something like that, I think it could definitely be used. So I think that in itself is definitely a good way to kind of judge how well this video is. I also really liked my music choice. I think it was a beautiful track that I used for the audio. The gains were beautifully managed. I really love it. I didn't have any issues with that. I think I did that very well. And one thing I didn't like though was like she kind of jumped in, like her voice came in randomly. Um and I didn't realize that when I was working on the project at first. So that's very interesting. That's something that I definitely want to um go back and check up on. But yeah, I wish I had her voice in earlier when I was just displaying the images. But I still included all of the instructions. I think, like I said, you could comprehend it if you watch it starting at that point where she begins to talk. So I definitely made good use of what I had, because I think a combination that we tend to have is that, at least I have this, is like every time you're doing a clip editing a project, you're like, oh my gosh, I wish there was this in the footage, or I wish there was that. But this one wasn't really like that. I feel like I kind of had everything I needed. I think I utilized it well. So I liked also the way my audio and video tracks were lined up. I think my timeline was beautifully organized. It helped me when I was doing the project. I know exactly what was supposed to be in each track, so I wasn't like fussing around as I tend to do when I'm editing. So that was very big for me. And that was really good organization of the timeline there. So organization is definitely key. It is very important. My favorite thing that I learned from this video was how to scale and resize images and stuff like that, because a lot of images were actually fit for like the I don't know what the ratio is, but the ratio that I have for the video, there were different ratios. So adjusting them to fit the screen, that was a big accomplishment for me, and I'm really happy that I was able to learn that.